Hey everyone, it's Love My Soul, aka Mia. Um, Sorry, I've been kind of MIA lately. Ha ha ha, pun on the name. But we currently are residing in a different home than what we were. As you can see with all the multiple doors behind me, this is kind of going to be my new setup. Thankfully, I am in a master bedroom now that has a beautiful big window which faces the school that the kids go to across the street. So I wanted to post something since I haven't been online recently. I've been watching videos and responding to videos and having fun with videos, but I just with the move, trying to move family and animals, especially when you're married and you have children and both you and your husband have full-time jobs like Michael and I do. I have not had enough time to just like get in, get settled, feel like I'm settled where I only have maybe 5 or 6 boxes left in the house that I need to put away, which is like random stuff like extension cords and extra hangers and comforters, blankets, random Christmas ornaments, that type of stuff. That's basically all we have left to put away. So I'm very super happy that we were able to move, and we've only been in the house for about 2 weeks now, so we're doing pretty good. You can see my makeup vanity behind me. This is kind of my current setup with my makeup. So I'm super duper excited to have a little bit more natural lighting and have maybe a little bit more quality in my videos until I get better at YouTube and get a larger subscribing audience. I don't think I'm going to go out and just automatically rush and get a really high tech phone or high tech camera, video recorder, lighting, all that whole nine. Those are for the gigantic makeup gurus on YouTube. I like Whaley, Shannon XO. Oh my goodness. Everybody that is big that I follow on my channel. You can see who I subscribe to. So go check those ladies out because they're the professionals. They're the ones who've been rocking it on YouTube with their channels since day one. They are who I consider makeup gurus. I'm just somebody who likes to share information with people. So let me get into the tag that I'm doing today. This is the My First tag. And anyone who's watching this video and anyone who subscribed to me and vice versa, I'm tagging all of you. I think this is kind of a fun tag to do. So I'm kind of interested to see your answers and your feedback on it. But I wanted to do this tag, and there are two different first tags. This is my firsts, which is a more general, broader tag, and there's another firsts tag that I need to go and find the answer or questions to do that video as well. But there's two different versions, and I'm doing the one that's a little bit more vanilla, I guess, out of all the first tags, but I wanted to do this because it looks fun and I'm tagging all of you. I hope you guys play along and are interested to do it too. So, Blonde Tea Party and my other subscribers and anyone else that happens to randomly find this in their uh, to watch video feed, please do it. It looks like a lot of fun. So, let me jump into it. The first question is, what is your first tweet? What was your first tweet? Oh goodness. Shoot, I don't even recall. It's probably something stupid and random about my thoughts during the day or something that made me upset or ticked me off. That's usually what I tweet about. And actually, if you follow me on Twitter, my Twitter name is Me A Fox, MEE A Fox. Me A Fox is my Twitter name, and I'm more on Twitter nowadays than I am Facebook. I'm on Facebook, but kind of use Facebook to kind of keep in touch with high school friends. And college friends, but not a big Facebooker anymore. I like stuff, but that's pretty much it. The second question, what was your first YouTube video? My first YouTube video. Well, I believe it was my morning routine video on what I do in the morning when I'm getting ready for work. And I've only been on YouTube for a few months, so I don't have a lot of videos out there. You can find it really quickly. Number 3, first person you subscribed to. Well, the first person I subscribed to, I believe, was Shannon XO. I think she's amazing. She's from New Zealand. She's awesome. Her tutorials are spot on. She's funny. She makes fun of herself, and her boyfriend Hamish is on their videos, and I like the banter between them too. I find them just really interesting to watch, and they're kind of like my comic relief for the night. And if I don't watch a Shannon XO video, I pretty much freak out during that day because she's um, probably one of the top YouTube makeup gurus that I watch on YouTube that inspires me, that gets me creative, that kind of pushes me to do more things. I love her to death. I can't say any more about her. So it's probably her. Or possibly I like Waylay. Waylay Hung. She's amazing. You guys should follow her because she is amazeballs. She's hilarious and I love her. She gives a lot of good advice too. So if you're a younger girl and you're kind of in high school, college, my daughters like watching her videos with me as well because she's just funny. Number 4, your first Facebook profile pic. Oh lordy, I don't even recall. I probably had super short hair. I probably had the side swept bangs, and I had really short spiky hair at one point, and I believe that probably was my first Facebook pic. Do you still talk to your first love? Yes and no. We're friends on Facebook, and every now and then he'll like something that I put, or a video that I posted that I've snatched off someone else's wall that I've decided to share, and he'll PM me every now and then. But we live in separate parts of the state, so we don't ever run into each other. Nor do I expect us to ever run into each other. And he's got a kid, he's been married, he's got a girlfriend, I'm married, I have children. So we just kind of, our lives just kind of went in completely different opposite spectrums, I guess, directions. So we do talk, not really frequently, but we still talk. It's your first love. I don't think you ever get over it. The next question is first alcoholic drink. Well, I must say that the family that I grew up in, there's 5 of us kids. My mom and dad obviously adopted my sister and I because we're both Korean American adoptees, but my parents were pretty cool about drinking. I don't know about you all, but my dad and mom were always, we'd rather you drink with us and have a beer or a glass of wine or whatever, a glass of champagne for New Year's with us, where we can control you not leaving the house and driving around with your friends. So we always just kind of had a glass of wine once we were 15 years old with dinner. Having a glass or two of champagne for New Year's, it was not a big deal. So I really don't think that it was when I was in high school and college that it was a real big thing for me to want to run out and drink with my friends underage. It was just I never really had a desire to, because if I wanted to drink, I just asked mom, "Hey, can I have a glass of wine with dinner tonight?" Sure, knowing that I was staying in for the night and was under their roof, so it wasn't a big deal. So probably a glass of wine or a glass of champagne, something like that. First job. My first job, I worked at a local movie theater, other than babysitting jobs, which that's not where you're paying taxes and, getting, all that good stuff. So my first job was working at a movie theater in concessions, and I loved it. I worked in concessions. I also worked ticket booth, and I would fill in the screen room, where this was back before everything was digital and everything was electronic, where you actually had to put the gigantic reels on the movie machine. So it was that was kind of an intense training to go through, but it was fun. I love movies, so working in a movie theater when I was a teenager was kind of cool. First car. I had a Chevy Citation. That was my first car. We had a family car that my brothers and I shared. It was Dad's old Toyota Cressida, which literally leaked oil like crazy. Every single time you got a tank of gas, you had to put at least a quart or two of oil in it because it just burned black smoke on behind you. It was terrible. But my first car myself, as someone who was purchasing a used car, was a Chevy Citation. Hatchback, ugly as sin, but it was my baby. It was my first car, whatever. Let's see. I'm sorry. My screen keeps going blank. Shoot. First job. Oh, already did that. First car. Okay. First person you texted today. The first person I text today, pretty much first person I text every day, is my husband, Michael. He usually texts me first because I go to work around 7:30 in the morning and right after the kids go to school. So I'm usually in the office already in the grind before he texts me. And he usually texts me when he gets to work. This one, it's usually I love you, honey, ya, which I'm Korean, so a lot of Korean words or Korean sentences have ya at the end of it. So honey, ya is kind of our pet name for each other. Well, his pet name for me. Let me clarify. His pet name for me is honey, ya. So he usually texts me and just says love ya, honey, ya, and I respond back I love you too. So my husband, that's the one I text every day, first thing. First person you thought of this morning. First person I thought of this morning was obviously Michael, my husband. And then the second person I thought about, usually right after my husband, is usually my dad. I'm a daddy's girl. My sister and I are both, I'm 31 years old, soon to be 32, and I'm still a daddy's girl. I love my dad. So after my husband, my dad's like the number two man in my life. Okay, and first grade teacher. Who was my first grade teacher? I can't even recall her name, but I know that we all loved her to pieces. I went to private Catholic school. And my first grade teacher, she was young, she was hip, she was funny. She let us play a lot of interesting, fun academic games, so she wasn't like the boring, old, dried up biddy that just was made your life hell. My first grade teacher was banging, and I cannot remember her name. But I know all the boys had the crush on her. Like she was super banging hot. Like she was a kitty patootie. First airplane ride. Actually, my first airplane ride was probably around the age of 3 when I came over from overseas. I was born in Seoul, South Korea, and I lived in an orphanage for a while. And then when I was going into the foster system to try to find me a family, I lived with my foster mother and her family. But around 3.5, somewhere in there is when I came to the States. And that was like an 18-hour flight on a double decker plane. I mean, it was a big deal. And I had, the orphanage put my name on a little, with a piece of paper with string around my neck so my parents would know. And I flew over by myself. It was, back in the 70s and 80s, it wasn't a big thing to put, a young toddler. Basically, I was a toddler in, on an 18-hour flight to America. So, yeah, I mean, Korean child who can't speak a lick of English, who's 3 years old, on a flight by themselves on a double decker plane going across the ocean. It was a big deal. Apparently, I was traumatized. Thankfully, I don't remember a lot of it. I don't remember the plane ride. I don't remember that, and I do remember some things, good and bad, about my very early childhood when I came over to the States, but mostly good. Mostly good. Let me see. First best friend, and do you still talk? My first best friend was Toy Tabasak. Toy and I were in preschool. Maybe she came in kindergarten. Kindergarten through 6th grade. Before they started doing middle school, 6th grade was in middle school. Once you moved on to 7th grade, when I was growing up, that was considered high school. So, junior high. Toy was my first best friend. Her family is from Laos, so she was Laotian, and I mean it was a big deal that for the longest time growing up I was the only little Asian girl in our class. I mean, private Catholic schools, especially in West Virginia, are pretty exclusive. There's not a lot of racial diversity. Let's just put it that way. I don't remember ever having a black student in my early childhood classes. Um, I think that I had a classmate that was black in 3rd or 4th grade is when he came. But that was it. I was pretty much the only little Asian minority or minority period in a sea of white people. So yeah, it was kind of a culture shock. And yes, when I was younger, I was more introverted than I am now, and I got made fun of ridiculously a lot, like all the time. Had gum in my hair, had shoelaces cut, had my hair cut by other classmates. Yeah, it's not fun in my early childhood years until I learned to fight, and then I got in trouble. um, let's see. First sleepover. My first sleepover was probably in the second or third grade. I had some girlfriends in my class. We were all kind of nerds. We were quiet. We were kind of the introverted kids, and there was five of us, so we naturally called ourselves the Quints. I mean, yeah, yeah. Not so awesome now when I think about it. It's kind of funny, but yeah, we were called the Quints. There was five of us, so we would take turns going to each other's houses. So one weekend it would be one Saturday night it would be at Betsy's house. The next Saturday night it would be at my house. So it gave our parents that were all friends a night off per se. So it was kind of nice that we all had each other to hang out with. So that was kind of fun. Next question is first thing you did this morning. First thing I did this morning was get up and use the bathroom and take a shower. That's what I do every morning. I pretty much roll over, give Michael a hug, give him a kiss, and then just jump right out of bed and go straight to the bathroom, do my business so I can get ready for work. Next question. My first concert. My first concert, I believe, was in grade school, later grade school. I think it was fifth grade. And no, it was not New Kids. Thank you, sweet Jesus. I am not a New Kids on the Block fan. First concert was a group called No Mercy. If you're a kid of the late 70s, early 80s, you remember the boy band No Mercy. They were kind of middle to late 80s. Before NSYNC and all that whole craze. So yeah, No Mercy was kind of a cool thing. And the first big adult grown up person in '94, I went with my brother, my uncle, my father to we called ourselves the Four Musketeers. We went to see in Columbus, Ohio, the Rolling Stones, which Mick Jagger, hello, shut up, amazing. I mean, you want to talk about freak out above all freak out. It was awesome. Awesome concert. So yeah, those are my two first concerts. First broken bone. My pinky. I don't know if you can see this, but you see how my pinky's like really wonky on this side? My right hand pinky's really crazy. I had to wear stuff on it. So yeah. And it's never really it's about as straight as I can make it go. So yeah. My first piercing actually was on my right ear. I had something called an industrial, which is basically two large piercings through the cartilage. So I had one down here and one up here, and you have a large piece of metal, a bar that attaches both. So it's one gigantic piece of earring that I had. It's called an industrial, and that was my first piercing. My second piercing is briefly in college. I had my tongue pierced briefly. It made me talk with a lisp, and I kind of talk funny anyway, so I didn't need it anymore. After about a year, I was kind of like, the novelty of having a tongue piercing is kind of over and done with. Next question is the first foreign country you visited. The first foreign country I visited, obviously, was Korea. My parents took me and my sister back to Korea several times. The first time, I believe I was 7 or 8 and met my foster mother and had an interpreter and went back to the orphanage where I lived and did all that good stuff. So my parents were really big about instilling upon Tessa and I our heritage, our culture, where we came from, all that good stuff. Thank goodness. They were cool. My parents are cool as shit. The first movie I remember watching. And I remember it vividly. I was 3.5 or 4, before school. I know I was before preschool. Right when I started understanding English, my mom got The Wizard of Oz for my two older brothers and for I to watch, and it freaked me out. I mean, the flying monkeys, it just freaked me out. And to this day, I hate The Wizard of Oz, the original Wizard of Oz. Hate it. The flying monkeys scared me crapless. I mean, scared me crapless. The next question is my first detention. Yoo-hoo! Never had detention. Yay! No D-Hall for me. I was a good student. I just sat there and smiled and was quiet and paid attention and turned in my homework. I never caused an issue. Even in high school, I was a nerd in high school. So, choir, handbell, Spanish club, glee club, ski club, swim team. I mean, I was a nerd. Chess club, spirit club, which a lot of people call like, I don't know, what is it? When you do pep rallies and stuff, it was called spirit club when I was in school. So yeah, Bread for the World, Amnesty International. That wasn't a whole bunch of nerdy things. That was not a troublemaker. Um, the next question is my first roommate. My first roommate actually was when I went to college. I went to Wheeling Jesuit College. It's here in West Virginia in the Northern Panhandle. It's a private Catholic college with the Jesuits, which is a sect of the Catholic church. So yeah, that was my first roommate was when I was in college, and she was Asian and she was from another part of West Virginia, and both of us were. You kind of have to fill out like a little survey. So they put you with a roommate that best kind of suits you, and both of us were, early to bed, early to rise. Both of us had 8 o'clock classes. Both of us liked coffee. Both of us were kind of neat freaks and quiet and nerdy, so it worked out perfectly. She was awesome, Rochelle. She was awesome, and her family. I think she was Thai. I want to say Thai. And her mom was like a traditional Thai dancer. Like she showed me pictures of her mother. Her mother like had the whole traditional wardrobe and hair and all that stuff. It was amazing. And her mom, when they lived in Thailand, when her and her father lived in Thailand, her mom, I guess, was this big, huge, amazing star. Like she was a star. She was a dancer, classical dancing. So it was pretty amazing. And we also had really good food because we had a rice cooker. It didn't say anywhere in the handbook that you could not have a rice cooker in your room. You couldn't have hot plates. You couldn't have camping stoves, that type of stuff. But it did not say that you could not have a rice cooker. So we made so much crap, so much food out of our rice cooker because you know how you can get prepackaged grilled sliced chicken. Basically, all you have to do is put it in with rice in your rice cooker and heat it up. It was amazing. Like we had all I don't know why, but like the two Asian girls were stuck in the dormitory on the same wing in the brand. We had our own bathroom, so Rochelle and I didn't have to share showers or anything, and it was crazy. We were the two Asian chicks that were nerds, and we were flanked. We were on the very end of the hallway, and we were flanked by all these tall, muscular lacrosse players. So all these girls were like these big, sporty lacrosse players and basketball players at our college, and two Asian chicks get thrown in the very tail end. It was hilarious, but everyone would come over to our room because they hear us and see us cooking and smell it and be like, "Oh, you guys got food? We got drinks!" And so like we would have like so many people in our room. It was awesome. Awesome. Next question is first sport you were involved in. I never was a big sport person. I danced. I always took dance ever since I came to the States. And I kind of focused my concentration on ballet, classical ballet. I took from January's Academy of Dance here in Charleston. My daughters take from her and have continued dance classes with her. I was a part of the River City Youth Ballet Ensemble. I was one of the founding members of that. I now serve on the board of directors for that organization. I briefly was with the Charleston Ballet, but it was just a little too intense. And also, I was not that I'm bashing ballet here, but I was not the ideal body type. I'm short, I'm muscular, jet black hair. It was just not, back when I was studying dance, it was not kind of the thing to have an Asian member in your ensemble. So I just I lean towards more lyrical and modern dance. It was kind of the fusion between jazz and ballet, but the genre was better for me. It was better suited for me and showcased my talent. So dancing, I've always been an avid skier, snow skiing. My family, we've always skied, hence why we live in West Virginia, the Appalachian Mountains. Hello. We would travel to Quebec, Colorado for skiing. It was a big thing for us to take, Christmas or Thanksgiving breaks and go out west for, ski trips with the family. So, yay for skiing. Swimming, I was always on swim team. But that's about it. I never did any other sports other than those. Okay, first thing you do when you get home. First thing I do when I get home is obviously take off my work shoes and my work clothes and then take off my makeup. I usually have, like right here, I have my Pond's facial cleansing wipes. I usually take off all my makeup and then go through my whole facial routine by going to the bathroom and actually washing my face that way. And I'm starting to lose light in here. I'm sorry if the video quality is changing, but the sun's starting to go down. Last question is, when was your first kiss? My first kiss was 6th grade. I used to date on again, off again, and dating in 6th grade, like we never really went anywhere other than with our parents who are our chaperones. A boy named Anthony, who still lives in Charleston, who I still talk to today. He's one of my really good friends. I see his mother and his other siblings and cousins around all the time. Big Italian family. And Anthony, or back then AC, and I were kind of the, I don't know, quintessential couple, I guess. We were just sweet on each other. We would save each other a seat for lunch. We would hang out on the playground and play Foursquare and that type of stuff. And he was my first kiss, and it was just an innocent peck on the lips. So yeah, good guy. So that was it. That was my first video, and I'm sorry that the quality has changed a bit since now the sun's going down. I do apologize that, but I wanted to upload something. I wanted to say hello to you guys. It has been forever and a day, so thank you for watching. I hope you all decide to do this tag with me as well. I will try to link all the questions below in the down bar, and enjoy. I hope you guys have a great week, and I'm going to the beach in like 4 days. Yay, family vacation! I'm so excited. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye!